Hi everybody, I thought it was high time I returned to the subject of my Shadow Cloud gaming PC, because I've had it for over a year now and a lot of stuff has happened to Shadow PCs over the last year, and I thought I'd talk about, how and why I find it useful, how I use it, is it worth the money, what you get for it, and things like that. So if you're not familiar with the idea of a cloud PC, basically, like how you watch Netflix movies and they stream to your phone or to your PC or to your TV, well, you can kind of do that with PCs as well. So you can take your old hardware. So in my case, I've got an old Acer Aspire E1571, which is coming up to, I think, over 8 years old now. The Shadow Cloud PC is on a server rack in London somewhere, and that does all the hard work, and it streams the screen to my old laptop. So it means that I can do things on my old laptop that otherwise I couldn't normally be able to do, namely run high-end PC games and do high-end editing that I can't do on my old laptop because it's just too slow. My old Acer Aspire can just about play Patience. You can't play any sort of graphical game on it at all, because it wasn't that sort of machine when it was new, because it doesn't have dedicated graphics, let alone 8 years later. So what you do with Shadow is you subscribe to them, and it's not cheap. They start off at $29.99 a month, and then you need to add you'll need to add some memory, definitely, because that only gets you 256 gigabytes of storage, I think. Actually, it might be 512 you get to start off with. I'll have to check. And then, you only get 256 gigabytes. So that isn't enough. So I've added to mine. So I have 750 gigabytes. So I pay £35.97 a month for my Shadow. And you might think, wow, that's pretty expensive. And it is. It's not an insignificant amount over the year. And what that gets me is a cloud computer with a GeForce GTX 1080 graphics card. Now, that's a pretty old graphics card now, but kind of it does the job all right. 12 gigabytes of RAM, and in fact, what I'll do, so that's my device manager. So there you can see there's the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 there. If we go into settings, you can see here. So it's got an Intel Xeon E5 2678V3 2.5 gigahertz with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So that's kind of what you're getting. And for me, on my laptop, this seems to work very, very well. And then, so what do I do with it? Well, some of the main things I do are editing and modding, and obviously playing DayZ. So, for example, this is the DayZ editor, which is a mod that allows me to add things into the game and create custom JSON files and do all sorts of wonderful things. And I simply could not do this on my laptop as it is, because it's just not powerful. So that's incredibly powerful. And then I can play DayZ as well. And then we've got things like Vortex, so basically being able to play Cyberpunk 2077 on it, and then do modding for Cyberpunk 2077 on it as well. And I can do all that on this computer. And the fact that I can run something like Vegas on it, so I can create videos on this computer, because as you know, my main thing is my YouTube channel. And the fact that I have this Shadow Cloud Gaming PC allows me to do so much more than I could if I didn't. Now, you may well say, well, why don't you just have, just buy a gaming PC or a gaming laptop? Well, the thing is, I can't afford one. So the Shadow is a way of me being able to step into this world of playing fairly high-end PC games at good settings, but importantly being able to create content about modding and tutorials on those high-end gaming PCs, and then uploading them to my YouTube channel. And I would have to say that probably my Shadow Cloud Gaming PC has been essential to the growth of my gaming channel over the last year. The videos I've been able to make, especially around DayZ and DayZ modding, have been integral to the growth of my channel. To, how to mod, how to play around with PC mods, being able to test mods very, very easily, test XML mods, and jump into having a local server, for example. So another example would be on on my Shadow Cloud Gaming PC. I have a local server that I can run, DayZ server, so I can test things very, very quickly, and it has been integral. And for me, where my YouTube channel obviously generates revenue that pays for the Shadow Cloud Gaming PC. Now, do I wish it was still what it used to be? I think it used to be about £15 a month. Absolutely. But what happened was Shadow actually ran out of money and went bust, and somebody took over it and said, look, if we want to carry on doing this, we need to charge a proper amount. And it jumped from, I think it was £15 a month to £30 a month. And they said, look, that's what we need to do to survive. If you want your own Shadow Cloud Gaming PC, you can get one pretty quick now. I think it takes 48 hours for them to turn one on for you, maybe even less. Where it used to be, you had to wait. I think I had to wait 6 months to get mine to start off with. But that business model where they weren't charging enough money, obviously wasn't viable. Would I like it to be more powerful? Kind of. I think what's good about the way that I use my Shadow Cloud Gaming PC is that my Acer Aspire it doesn't have a true 1080p screen. It's a bit smaller. It's like 1440 by something or other. And I think that really helps because it means that the GTX 1080 doesn't have to work quite as hard. So it means I easily get quite high frame rates. Plus, the screen on my laptop maxes out at 60 frames a second anyway. So there's no point being able to drive things any faster. So so kind of inclusion for me, being a content creator who can't afford a gaming PC or a gaming laptop, the Shadow Cloud Gaming PC has been integral and is still integral for me to be able to create content about games like DayZ and Cyberpunk and PUBG from the PC side of things, and the ability to run things like local servers and do modding. Yes, is expensive. When I get enough cash, will I buy a gaming laptop? Absolutely, 100%, because there are certain workarounds that I have to do to be able to record, for example, videos. So if I'm going to make a video where I'm recording the footage on the Shadow Cloud Gaming PC, if I try and record the audio by streaming the audio to the cloud, stream the Shadow Cloud Gaming PC, the audio is often of poor quality, crackly and things like that. So what I do is I record the audio locally on my laptop, and then I have to upload it, and then I sync them together in Vegas. That is actually, I've got a really cool workflow for doing that now, and it's really fast, and that's how I'm making this video. Where that doesn't work though is if I want to stream from my Shadow Cloud Gaming PC directly to Twitch or YouTube, often the audio isn't very, very good. That's probably because we don't have particularly good internet where we live anyway. So that's, if you've got really good broadband, that probably wouldn't be a problem. The other thing I would say is that to kind of sum it up is, it's good value for money for me, although it is expensive. It does work for me, although it's expensive. When it comes to actually playing games, I've definitely found that the Shadow Cloud Gaming PC is really good for games like DayZ or Cyberpunk, where you're playing like an adventure style. If you're playing Twitch shooters, say for example like PUBG, or wanted to play Call of Duty or Escape from Tarkov or something like that, your results may vary because although the software that Shadow uses to stream is very, very good and reduces the latency an awful lot, there is still a little bit of latency and it can be difficult. But that's not the main reason why. I mean, I have played things like Iron Harvest all the way through on my laptop and played that. But I still prefer playing games on my consoles because I think it's more comfortable to sit back in a comfy chair with the controller rather than be over a keyboard and mouse. So there we go. So in conclusion then, for me, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, Shadow, although expensive, has definitely been worth it, and I will carry on subscribing until I can afford a gaming PC or a tower or something, or a laptop, and then I'll stop. There we go. Hopefully that's been a useful video. If it has, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, hit subscribe or like, and I'll see you again soon.